Hey, today we're going to talk about top challenges we're facing now. And I'm kicking off, so I don't have to go first because I'm still thinking. So,
Yeah,
Riley, Tom, what do you have a challenge you're facing right now you want to kind of throw out there?
Riley never goes first, so I
Uh,
liked Riley.
I'll go first. One of the biggest things with clients that we're trying to solve right now, and it's happening in different ways and triggered by different circumstances, but there is a massive amount of talk around abandoning inaccurate or partially viewable attribution systems. We're also having a lot of conversations around the traditional definition of what attribution means versus what it should mean now, and that's tied to something internally we're gearing up for in 2024, which is we have a number of clients who have kind of dissolved into two separate camps. Those who kind of need to reassess the toolkit entirely versus those who need to dive deeper on what's actually working. But the identification of what's actually working has shifted so tremendously in the better part of 2023. So it's really causing everyone to say, okay, what is the data that I should actually be factoring in? How can I give credit to self-reported attribution, to the dark metrics that don't get reported organically, and those types of things? So those are huge challenges we're trying to solve for, and starting to redefine in a totally new way in 2024.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Riley, we've talked a lot about attribution and how it's so broken, but self-reported attribution is powerful and it's easy. You just add a free-form text field on any form that says, "How did you hear about us?"
Mhm.
and then let people type and tell you how they heard about you,
Yep.
which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Kind of related to that, I mean, why is attribution important to begin with? Well, we want to know whether campaigns, tactics, channels, whatever we're doing, whatever initiative we have, is it working? And like the challenge I wrote down, one of them was reporting. And I'm actually going to kind of try and reframe that because I think one of the things we've been talking about a lot is reporting's our numbers and red and green lines, but they don't tell a story. And then we talk about storytelling against reporting, which kind of makes it sound like we're making something up. What we're really trying to do is provide intelligence about the marketplace, about the campaigns that we have. This is a big problem we're trying to solve for right now because intelligence gives us the ability to make thoughtful decisions for the good of the project, tactic, campaign, initiative. Reporting is just numbers. As marketers, we can look at that and understand, just through our experience, whether something's working or not. But when you're asking somebody who signs checks to understand it, if they don't have a marketing background, you really need to provide them that intelligence story and then
Yeah.
be able to use that to justify why we're asking for what we're asking for. So
Yeah, that's where I like the integration of, especially for longer tail clients, of historic data, being able to show that story over time. Then it is, yes, it was 6 months ago it was a number, 3 months ago it was a number, today
Yeah.
it's a number, but look how those numbers are trending. It lets us paint a better picture.
yeah,
I'm going to go completely different from the rest of you all.
shocker.
It's the
Color me
end of the
shocked.
year. Color me shocked. It's the end of the year. You know what we're starting for now? End of year. You've got clients that it's trying to keep momentum going. You've got clients that, we're already someone shared a meme the other day that was smells like that. Let's pick this up after the holidays time of year. So how do you keep momentum that's going with either new clients or existing clients and keep that energy level up, knowing that, I know it's only the 10th, but like Thanksgiving is in 2 weeks, and then practically
Yeah,
Christmas is there, and then we're in 2024, and who knows what's happened. So, trying to keep those lines of communication open, keeping ideas flowing, and keeping your internal teams motivated is one, because you're like, well, we got this request, but now so and so's out for 2 weeks, or we got this
yep,
coming in. So, keeping everyone in that energy level, it's a different type of issue to solve for right now. Um,
Totally.
which is why I wanted to throw it out there, because I knew you guys would go all like clients and business and stuff. And I'm like, people, that's what
I've
it
got
is.
I've got one for you, Josh. If you
Uh
want a
oh.
bonus,
Yeah,
um,
throw it.
the one I had the challenge, and I think that we've done a good job of solving for this. So I'll just kind of hand it over to you. Was removing bias from targeting and segmentation.
Oh,
Traditionally, everybody uses personas, and you're like, okay, so we're targeting a guy who's into BMWs who likes golfing.
I,
Um,
I, I, we will do one of these eventually where I do an entire one on the death of the persona.
Yeah.
Some of that information has its place. Don't get me wrong. Like when you're getting into targeting and like you're using like something like LinkedIn. Yes, if someone has a bachelor's degree, might make a difference to what you're targeting. Yes, if someone works in this industry, it might make a difference. But you're marketing to people. You're solving a challenge, a pain point that they have. I don't care if it's a mom of 7.5 kids. I don't know where the half one comes from, or a single guy who likes to go partying every weekend. It doesn't matter. If they have a similar role, they have a similar problem at their job. And
Yep.
trying to get people to focus on that is a challenge because you introduce personas and as soon as you name one, you've got a bias. And I will say this, and I'm apologize to anyone who I offend, but if you name a persona Karen, I already have an opinion. If you name someone Brad, I have an opinion. And trying to find a neutral name in a world where, man, names are nothing anymore. Like it's focusing on the important part, which is what is the problem a person has? How does our business or product solve for that? Lets you speak more authentically to people too. Otherwise, you're like force feeding, like, here's how I talk to a mom. Moms all think this way. That's not true. So
100%.
I forgot to set the timer, so that was basically made up. But I've got one for you, Riley, if you guys want to stick on for a couple more seconds on our 5-minute marketing hour.
sure.
We're here. Let's do it.
Riley, I wrote down the 95-5 rule in figuring out how to be always on in front of the 95% of your total addressable market that is not in market right now, but prepare them to be the 5% that is in. And I wrote down brand marketing versus demand marketing. I also wrote down intent and leveraging intent. I think that intent's a word that people throw around a lot, but don't really know how to use it. I just kind of wondered if you could like talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think it all kind of happens in like 3 to 5 year cycles. Like a lot of what we just covered is stuff that we cover, every couple years to reset because new technology's been introduced. There's new trends, there's some new hot buzzword or new products. I think what's driving so much of that topic right now, Tom, is the accelerated change in just human behaviors. So it's really interesting because all of this kind of does tie together in terms of like brands are feeling the need to review and revisit some of these things, to consider a presence, to consider where the priorities are right now, to redefine who they're targeting and how they're reaching them in a really big way. And so it kind of nicely boils all of this up. Which is, we're kind of at an inflection point of that 3 to 5 year time period. And I think you could argue that the 3 to 5 year window is getting narrower and narrower just based on how much things have continued to accelerate.
Yeah. And, I think COVID caused there to be a lot of low hanging fruit on that 5%, the low end of the funnel. And it got like super saturated. And now it's dry and everybody's like, well, shoot, what do we do now?
Yep.
And we're talking a lot with clients now about, hey, you've kind of maxed out the amount of money you can spend on paid search or Amazon or whatever, these really low funnel tactics. You need to start thinking further up brand marketing wise to prepare people to be part of that audience so that they'll make the decision to go with you and you can expand that ICP that you have.
For sure. 100%.